How did I become an herbalist? Well, as a child, I really loved books about herbalists, and sometimes the herbalists were witches. I do remember The Witch of Blackbird Pond by Elizabeth George Spear had a big influence on me. And often there were herbal potions, but because of the influence of my French-Canadian grand-mère and her use of folk remedies, not only did she use things like garlic and cabbage, flax seeds, plantain, she also read tea leaves and palms and could predict the weather. So even in probably middle school, whenever I had a paper due, rather than just writing about something, I would pick a subject so I could maybe learn about herbs. So for French class, I would write les plantes médicinales pendant la Révolution, like herbs used during the Revolution, the French Revolution. Or maybe I would write plantas medicinales de Mexico for Spanish. I think it's Jedi to be multilingual, and of course helps with all those Latin names. For chemistry, I wrote about phytochemistry. So I would choose my subject to write about to be a way to learn more about plant medicine. And again, I've mentioned how I always would highlight in yellow. And I went to massage school, and that gave me a good foundation to know about herbs and anatomy and physiology and pathology and all that. And all of those healing arts, reflexology, because I don't just do herbs. I do, a little bit of all of it, color therapy, aromatherapy. But I lived 2.5 years in a teepee, pretty much off of wild edible plants. And this was in the early 70s. And I'll tell you, nothing like hunger will get you motivated to learn what is growing around you. So I did all that. And then I have shared in another episode how I, worked in natural food stores and then ended up becoming the herbalist for a really large natural food store called Alfalfa's Market for 20 years. So I loved having a job where you could learn and demo a different tea and order the herbs and, learn their quality. But this is a subject that you never stop learning. So every time I offer to teach a class on something, I will, research it. And, just because I've taught a class such as natural remedies for mental and emotional health, I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. I'm going to continue to polish that craft. So I just, kept doing it. And I remember standing in the Rocky Mountain Center for Botanical Studies, a school started by Feather Jones, and I'm teaching a class and I'm making good money and just a few blocks from my house, and I thought, yes, this is a dream come true. I am a herbalist. Yay. Because teaching others really helps you stay on top of your game. And I also want to share the first time I taught a class at an herbal conference. Who was in the audience? Michael Tierra, Chris Hobbs, David Hoffman, and David Winston. Oh my God, all teachers that I really love and respect. But I figured if I can do my first big class with them in the audience, and again, there was a question I couldn't answer, so I gave it over to one of my mentors, Michael Tierra. So have fun on this journey. Blessed be.